Shalom, Kahalo, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh, Shabbat, Hashem, Kakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them, that taught us His truth. And Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily Update. Shalom and salutations to you as well. We're going to start right here. Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Let's look at it. I want to get that word nations. Let's look at it in a couple of different versions. Here we go. NIV, proclaim this among the nations. Same thing, Gentiles, the other nations, not Israel, okay? Nations, meaning all you other nations, all right? The Russians, the Ukrainians, the Japanese, the Chinese, okay? The NLT says, say to the nations far and wide, what? Get ready for war. Call out your best warriors. Let all your fighting men advance for the attack. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to try to keep this short. We're going to go straight to the voice of reason right here at Military and Foreign Affairs Network. 2 hours ago, he's going to let you know what? Battlefield Ukraine, the major offensive that they've been talking about forever now, is imminent. Okay? And this is very, very significant to world affairs, to geopolitics as a whole. You got the debt ceiling in America coming this week. Situation. You got what's being said from Russia, right now, is that they're saying, hey, you and your bioweapons over here, these labs, one of the key reasons that we had to go in and tear shit up, what's up with that? Same thing in Wuhan. Who funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan, China, which produced what? The last lockdown. Okay? And then, in the Sudan, 2 weeks ago, what was going on over there? Same thing. All right? That right there, in and of itself, is World War III. Through what? Bioweapons. That's World War III. Who's producing bioweapons all over the world? Okay? Anthony Fauci. Plain and simple. Who's releasing them on everybody? Who? I'm giving you the answer. Who? All right? Who's doing that? WHO. Who the hell is doing this? All right, so let's listen to this and figure out what the hell is going to go down this week. All right, here we go. Take it away. The voice.
Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Today, we are continuing our ongoing coverage of the war between the Russian Federation and Ukraine. Well, it appears that the possibility of a Ukrainian counteroffensive continues to increase. Today, in the last 24 hours, a certain U.S. Senator, let me pull him up here for you. There he is. Senator Lindsey Ladybug Graham stated that the Ukrainians, I believe, are getting ready to knock the holy hell out of the Russians. Is that what was his exact term was? His exact verbiage? You know, this guy is a really strange dude. If you look at his history, how he grew up, and where he's at now, and the political party that he belongs to, very, very interesting. And the whole backstory with the whole ladybug issue. And this guy's a hawk, and a hardcore hawk at that. And probably one of the last fellers men that I would want in a foxhole next to me, quite frankly. But he continues to get elected, and he doesn't like the Ruskies too much, and yeah, his belief is the Ukrainians are getting ready to knock the holy hell out of the Russians.
Which they haven't been.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens here in the next day, next 2 days, next week.
That's significant. We'll see what happens in the next week. Okay? Something's going to happen this week, which is why they're doing all this covering up. All right? The war is about to jump off in earnest, and you need as many diversions as you can get so people are not paying attention, even to knock the internet offline or the power. All right? Next week should be very interesting. Lord willing. I don't want to rest this out.
We'll see what happens here in the next day, next 2 days, next week. Difficult to say if and when this will actually kick off.
Sooner than
Enough
later.
of a ladybug.
Hopefully.
Another series of events has occurred over the last 24 hours as well. One of the largest Russian drone strikes that really has been launched all across Ukraine. Specifically, many have been launched at Kiev. And the Ukrainians are reporting that all of them have been shot down, every single one of them. Not one Russian drone hit one target. Very interesting.
Rumors of war.
I believe one person may have been killed, being reported by the Ukrainians as these drones have impacted across Kiev. Now, we do know that if it were to hit a military target, that information would not be shared in any aspect. Any military target other than civilian targets that are reportedly hit, then in all likelihood the Ukrainians will not report it. And that's very interesting.
And what's interesting about it is this, okay? Information is the biggest part of the war, okay? And they're speaking on taking the internet down so they can control this information. These guys have to say not one Russian hypersonic missile hit its target. What kind of, you have to tell those kind of lies to do what? To control the narrative. So in order for them not to have to push out these ridiculous, obvious lies, right? Because all we got to do is watch this and listen to this guy laugh. Oh, you hit every opposing threat was neutralized. Nobody hit any targets. That's just too hard to believe. So if we didn't hear any of it, if we didn't have a way to see or hear anything, they would be better off. So what are they going to do? As this counteroffensive, if you will, if it takes off, what do they have to do? They got to shut down the internet. It just makes sense.
So think about that for a second. If the Russians launch all these drones against targets in Kiev, now let's just take the Ukrainians at kind of face value and say that they had the ability to shoot down 50% of these kamikaze drones, which may be reasonable. I seriously doubt 100% effectiveness. Seriously doubt it.
It's a grandiose lie.
But let's just say 50%. And the Ukrainians are reporting that just one civilian was killed. So what does that mean? Does that mean that 100% of these drones hit Ukrainian military targets in and around Kiev. I mean, again, if the Russians are going after civilian targets, as reported by the Ukrainians, and you have just one fatality in this very large drone attack against this very large city of 3 million people. I mean, you would have to think that the Russians, did a fairly effective job of going after military targets. If the Ukrainian side is just reporting the loss of one civilian. Think about that for a second. Or the Ukrainians indeed shot down every single drone that the Russians fired at Kiev. And we know there were drone attacks elsewhere as well. Again, the largest drone attack since the conflict, since the war began. If we look at headlines, Ukraine turns to Germany with official request for provision of Taurus cruise missiles. And then another one here with Russia pummels Kiev with waves of explosive drones ahead of Ukrainian founding holiday. Another one, Kiev hit by largest Russian drone attack on the capital. Then you have the Ukrainian strike at Berdyansk. Ukrainian strikes at occupied Berdyansk destroys huge amount of Russian troops. Mayor. Russian strikes Ukrainian clinic, blames Kiev for border attacks. One dead after sleepless Kiev hit with biggest Russian drone attack of war. And then finally, Putin planning provocation at nuclear power station, Ukraine claims. But definitely within the area of this counteroffensive, the Ukrainians are very much telegraphing that something big is getting ready to happen. Compounding that, it's possible Zelensky was at the Pentagon. We know he was here in the United States. We're not sure if he's actually back in Ukraine as of yet. He's been out of Ukraine for quite some time now, for several weeks. And not sure if he's heading back. It's widely believed that he could be one of the prime targets right now for Russian forces, especially after the Ukrainian strike on the one of the flagpoles at the Kremlin. So that's where we are today. Again, we will continue to cover. We will continue to watch what is happening on the ground.
All right, so where does that put us? Okay, if next week, or this week, if you will, if they launch their attack, their offensive or counteroffensive, whatever you want to call it, what does that mean? It means that NATO has joined the fight officially. It means that the EU has joined the fight. What do NATO and the EU represent? In the Bible, they represent the beast. Who rides the beast? All right, the whore rides the beast. Who's the whore? United States. You have everybody as present. What does it mean if NATO, the EU, right, and the United States join the fight officially, which they've already done, they just haven't came out and said it yet. In order to launch this counteroffensive or whatever they keep talking about, they've been talking about for damn near a year now, that means all of them are fighting. Can't even hide it no more. What does that mean? Let's consult the scriptures. Then we'll go ahead and close right here. Easy. I mean, we do this every every other day, really. This comes out. It has to. It's going to come out until people understand what this thing is about. This is the script. The scriptures are the script of the whole movie. All right? All you got to do is know how to read the script, and you can tell what's going to happen next. All right? Right here. Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe has passed. That was World War II. It has passed. Behold, the third woe, World War III, is coming shortly. Okay, they haven't announced World War III. This is just the Russia-Ukraine war, right? Well, it's gonna go worldwide. All right. What's gonna happen when NATO, the EU, and United States make this move right here? China is gonna invade Taiwan. Oh, they're busy over here. The whore is over here doing what she does, invading lands, doing their shock and awe thing. All right, now is the perfect time for us to go invade Taiwan while they're busy over here. What is Rocket Man over in North Korea? What is he gonna do? He's gonna move. They're all gonna move at the same time. What is that? What is that called? World War III. We're watching it foment right now. Okay, what happens after World War III, or while it's in full swing? Let's find the beast and the whore. Right? So there's a script to this thing. The point that I'm making, if you know how to read the script, you know what's about to happen next, okay? Revelation 19 and 19, and I saw the beast. Who is the beast? If you know who the beast is, okay? And the kings of the earth and their armies. This is all the armies on the earth, okay, gathered together. So at this point, they stopped fighting each other in World War III. Right? The beast is NATO and the EU. Okay? And the whore that rides on the beast is America, Babylon the Great. Right here it says the kings of the earth. So they stopped fighting each other and did what? They waved the white flag and said, what are we doing? We got to fight against him that sat on the horse and his army. Okay? While World War III is in full swing, they're going to stop fighting and come together. Because out of the sky, right, fleets of chariots, right? Fleets. Let's look at fleets. Fleets. F-L-E-E-T of what? UFOs. Fleet of UFOs. What does that look like? Looks like this. This is what's coming out of the sky. So the Americans are, not the Americans, but all the armies in World War III are going to stop fighting each other, right? Because what's coming out of the sky is more important. Look at this. They know what this is. ISS, International Space Station live stream. This is a fleet of UFOs. How do we find this in the Bible? Here it is right here. And I saw the beast, Revelation 19 and 19. I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies, all of them, all the armies of the earth, gathered together to do what? To make war against him that sat on the horse, that's the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, and against those fleets, his army, right? Right here. Here's the fleets, Revelation 19 and 14. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. Here's what that looks like. It looks like this. These are those white horses, fine and clean. So what it's saying is, Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls you, he's going to be in one of these. Right? Let's look at it. Right? And I saw heaven opened. Look at this. Heaven opened. These guys came out of the fourth dimension. Now you can see them. They're making themselves present. Right? They're showing themselves to you, or to the live stream, if you will. And they know that. If they didn't want you to see them, you wouldn't. Okay? I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, meaning a chariot. And he that sat upon him, here's the pilot of that chariot, was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and do what? Make war. So during World War III, they're going to see this. It's going to present itself right in their face. They're going to, oh shit, we got to stop fighting each other and fight against them. And here it is. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. Okay? Okay? So when you understand, okay, what this book is saying, all right? And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. Okay? So this is the script of the movie. And guess what? Will Smith ain't gonna win. Will Smith is not gonna punch the angels in the face and say, welcome to earth. Will Smith is gonna die a violent death for even insinuating that they can overcome the angels. It says right here who wins. Okay, we won't go into it. We're going to end it right here. We hope that the elect will edify you, brothers and few sisters. With that, I'm going to say shalom.